Alright everyone, welcome back, Jakogangers.
Bitch, I'm back out my coma.
Today, we'll be talking about Dream. Again, you know, I recently released a video about 1 month ago where I kind of dive into how insane some of the Dream allegations are. Like, for example, how a lot of people believe that he's this, like, big bad evil pedophile, but evidence suggests that he's actually none of those things. And since then, a lot of stuff has happened. I've actually kind of held back on responding because I did take my time, like, kind of looking deeper into some of these allegations. And yeah, there's I just want to state this. I want to put all my cards on the table. There's no evidence at the moment suggesting that Dream is a pedophile. You know, that hasn't been for a while. Dream is a very good litmus test of whether or not a creator actually has intellectual honesty, right? Because I think it's something that's personally very depressing to me, that I feel like a lot of people, at least I think I have like a somewhat like moral truth capacity, where I would feel really bad about spreading misinformation, right? Like I have made documentaries before, and it takes a lot of time to research stuff, right? If I ever make a video with claims in it at all, I usually want to substantiate it, but that's not very profitable. It's not very profitable to make those videos where you take 3 months researching something. So a lot of people just kind of pull shit out of thin air, you know? And in my last video, I kind of just ranted about how insane that was. Well, since then, Dream has released a video covering most of the stuff that's been kind of thrown against him. I think it's a good video. I think a lot of people should check it out. All the money received from it is actually going to a charity. So even if you do believe that, you know, Dream might have skeletons in his closet, it's a long video. I'll just spare you to it that Dream, you know, has been a target of some really nasty stuff for a while now, and I think a lot of people know what they're doing. But this video has kind of made a lot of people very angry, because obviously, I think it's actually a problem with the human mind, where if we just told information enough at one point, we'll just believe it. I think Dream is like stuck in like a Sisyphusian like purgatory, right? Like he can, I don't think there's anything Dream can do at the moment that would improve his situation, except for not looking at the allegations and just pushing forward, right? Because I believe that a lot of the reason why it's even come this far, and this is the part of the video where I actually say something against Dream, so anybody who doesn't like him, yeah, it's your time to shine. The main issue that put Dream into his position aren't the haters, they're not even the stands, but the Dream himself. And obviously I do have to disclose that I don't believe that he is, I don't want to victim blame Dream in this situation, but I believe that his reactions to previous controversies really did contribute to the situations he finds himself in now. Like, because Dream had been scrutinized by his very progressive fans for like years now, right? Ever since he blew up as much as he did back in 2020. He's been in the limelight of a lot of very negative stuff. Like, there was stuff where he was accused of being like ableist, where he was accused of being racist, and in a lot of these situations it was really easy to make the argument that Dream was just that Dream was not being any of those things. But the issue Dream had originally, I think a thing I noticed was that initially he did realize that a lot of the accusations, I guess, his fans made about him, like there was this thing where he was chanting like a SpongeBob character, and people started saying that it's like anti-indigenous or something, which, you know, is pretty stupid. And the stance Dream initially took was just that a lot of the things people said about that were just stupid, right? But then what you saw after a while is that Dream actually backpedaled on that mindset, that, like, you know, it's that you know that there's no racist intentions with anything he's making, and that he doesn't need to apologize or like be accountable for a bunch of random people, which I think is very valid. I think it's probably a very healthy way to approach something like this with all these people coming against you, because if you know you're not racist, okay, and with all these people coming against you. But this weird thing is that Dream quickly backpedaled on a lot of this stuff, and this led to a lot of situations where he would apologize for stuff that he really didn't need to apologize for. And back when I was watching this, I mean, I was looking at this going like, that is, I felt bad for Dream for a while now. But even after like discussing it with some like friends at the time, we all kind of came to the conclusion that, you know, you kind of reap what you sow, right? Like, if I built this audience that just kind of has this dictatorship over me, then it's probably my fault. If I want to bow down to a bunch of really stupid demands people I don't even know personally are making about something I know is factually incorrect, and I keep repeatedly just kneeling down for them, then yeah, dude, that's probably on you. But I mean, this doesn't mean that all the people, you know, and if you go on Twitter at all, you see, if you go on Twitter, if you go on Instagram, if you go on any social media platform, you're gonna see a lot of negative stuff about Dream. And what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't, just because Dream might have had some pretty bad responses to dramas, doesn't justify saying all this horrible shit about him. And I want to preface this by kind of saying that it's perfectly fine to make fun of Dream for being cringe, for being, you know, weird or something. I think that's okay, but I think when it gets to the point where people start genuinely, like, believing you when you make these insane statements about somebody, about them being a pedophile, about them being a groomer, stuff that can genuinely like ruin somebody's life. I think that's obviously when it goes too far, and I find it very, very disappointing that a lot of people, like, without any evidence being presented to them and without like applying any of the scrutiny they usually would in these situations, are just willing to just compromise all of their morals just to dunk on somebody. That's genuinely so shocking to me, and I just can't cope with it. This is why I'm making the second video about the situation, because this is so insane to me. I really hate that we live in a world where people feel perfectly fine with just genuinely just compromising their moral character. And whenever I see like a YouTuber do this, you know, and I see a lot of them, like content creators, people, especially commentators who want to do this for a living, who want to do this stuff for a living, who want to cover allegations like this, it just kind of proves to me that you can't trust them. You can't trust a lot of these content creators. I think it's very, and it's become so shocking to me that I know like 3 or 4 people who are watching YouTube who I know actually care about the stuff they do, and I know who research it and put a lot of care into making sure that what the information is correct, right? And especially in these predator allegations, with stuff can get really, really messy. You just see so much misinformation, and it's genuinely disturbing to me. Like I don't. I think if you ever see something like this, please point it out. I think that is a huge service you're doing. Please just, you know, stand for what you believe in, right? Because I feel like if I was in a situation, I definitely would want other people to stand up for me too. You know, when I'm being accused of being a groomer, and there's no evidence at all. And, you know, we've become so Twitter brain, and we criticize, you know, older generations for just watching Fox News. But I think the same thing applies to people who just scroll through Twitter and accept everything that's in their timeline's reality. And I know a lot of people like that. I've even been friends with some people before. But this is not right, like, at all. And again, it's fine if you make fun of somebody, but when it gets to the point where you're genuinely trying to insinuate this stuff without any evidence at all, and once it leaves kind of the realm where it's just like you joking in private with your friends, and actually starts turning into these massive Twitter things, then I think you should be able to take a step back and say that, you know, what you did was wrong. And I saw a lot of accounts repost his video too, to kind of avoid giving him like ad revenue. And I think this is a very example of this one. This tweet by Holly Jolly Harley with 11,000 likes at the time of me screenshotting this. They posted Dream's entire apology, and the reason they state for why they posted this is to avoid Dream getting any money from it, right? They say this in that reply. But then when, you know, you see that little hidden reply icon, well, it's hiding some really weird stuff. Like these 2 tweets that state that Dream is donating the money he receives from the video to charity. And if you don't know what hidden replies are, if you're not as locked into the Twitter world as I am, it is a function that lets authors hide replies to their tweet. Kind of what's on the name, right? So these guys are pretty much just taking money out of the pockets of charities. I don't even know what this is, but this insane hatred towards Dream is just obviously so misdirected, right? But you guys have a good one. This is not that much of a funny video, you know. I like to usually like put jokes in these, but I just felt like the need to talk about this again, especially after everything resurfaced. I'm just hoping I can maybe change some people's minds, because I think it's the most important thing we have is truth. You know, the fact that we all agree that we are gonna be entirely honest about what's going on. And I just see so many people ignore this. Like just because you believe, or like you have this hunch that your side is right, doesn't justify you making these huge concessions when it comes to honesty. But, you know, you guys have a good one. And see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
What's the remix, Lois?
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
But where are those good old-fashioned values
On which we used to rely.